Good afternoon. Today I'm joining forces with HPD and Houston Fire Department Crime Stoppers to talk about ways that we can all bring in the new year very safely. We all know that the new year is a time of celebration, a time for new opportunities and resolutions, a time to reflect on the year and step into a new one. Who wouldn't want to celebrate making it another year? I know I certainly do. And let me welcome Andy Kahn with the Crime Stoppers. So we want you to celebrate as one year goes out and another year comes in, but we want you to celebrate responsibly. New Year's Eve is Saturday night, and some people will make a bad and illegal decision and celebrate by firing guns into the air. And sadly, many people still engage in this dangerous practice, celebratory gunfire, firing guns at the stroke of midnight or before, and long after midnight on New Year's Eve. And I'm here today again to remind all of our citizens that it is illegal. Let me underscore illegal and dangerous, and let me underscore dangerous, to fire a gun into the air. Discharging firearms in Houston is a Class A misdemeanor, which is punishable by up to a year in jail, a $4,000 fine, or both. Not only is it dangerous, but as Chief Fenner will vouch for, it also pulls our officers away from calls for service to neighborhoods and our roadways. Those are resources pulled away from the call for service loop that could be responding to violent crimes such as robberies and other home invasions. Also, always remember that what goes up must come down. And if you fire a bullet into the air, it will come down with more force and velocity. Engaging in this dangerous behavior puts our neighborhoods, especially our children, at risk for a potentially tragic situation. If you witness someone exhibiting this dangerous behavior, please call police as soon as possible or Crime Stoppers, and you'll be hearing from Andy Kahn shortly. We want people to enjoy the holiday festivities, but shooting guns and leaving them accessible to children can lead to a real tragedy. Let me also underscore same thing as relates to fireworks. No fireworks inside, using them inside the city of Houston. Now, let me call on Houston Police Chief Troy Fenner, who will shed some light on the devastating impacts of celebratory gunfire.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks, Chief West and Khan for being here. Just want to go over a few brief stats concerning celebratory gunfire last year in Houston. As you know, we had two individuals who were injured due to celebratory gunfire, 24-year-old woman and an 8-year-old child. Some didn't heed to the warnings that we put out. We told you, and the same as this year, we're going to have plainclothes officers and we're going to have uniform officers just out on patrol for that. We had 9 arrests last year, and if people don't listen, you should be more considerate of other citizens. It's unsafe and downright dangerous, and we want to put an end to it. We will have the officers out there again this year. 392 calls for service last year alone for celebratory gunfire, just over New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day. That's way too many calls. It makes no sense. We're a little bit short-staffed, just like anybody else, and we want to make sure that we just act and celebrate responsibly. Another thing, DWI, we lead the nation in Harris County DWI deaths, and we want to put an end to that. Again, have a plan, be responsible, designated driver, ride share, a number of things that you can do. That is a crime that is 100% preventable. Just don't do it. Don't drink and drive. Our DWI task force units will be out there along with our partners all over the county working. So again, don't drink and drive. The final thing I want to discuss are the clubs and bars. Celebrate. support our clubs and our bars. Do it responsibly. Ask one thing. When the 2 o'clock hits, and even before that, the safest thing for you to do is have a good time and go home. Don't hang out in our parking lots, okay? When things happen, and they happen, it's a shooting or something like that, it happens at the end, in the parking lot, when the club is closed down. So let's celebrate responsibly in all areas. Get home safely. Leave on time, and it's smart to leave a little bit early. You don't have to close out the party. Just go out and enjoy it and go home and celebrate. So get up with your family the next day, and let's bring in the new year. Speaking of the new year, we're headed in the right direction, and we want to grab that momentum and take it into 2023 as a police department, as a fire department, all our first responders. But finally, I just want to say I want to give a big thanks to all our employees, all the first responders, in the support roles, for charging forward, during difficult times. Our mayor, our elected officials, and our great citizens, and that includes our media. Thank y'all for being there for us, and let's just close this year out safely and bring in a new year. Do it the right way. Thank y'all.
Good afternoon. I'll start off where Chief Fenner finished, thanking our first responders for the job that they do day in and day out. Traditionally, for the last 32 years I know, New Year's Eve is one of the busiest response days and times of year for us. The calls for service increase by a minimum of 20% over our normal volumes. And with everything that's been said about celebrating safely, the strain on resources can lead to increased response times and getting to people who have serious incidents, accidents, or even illnesses. So we encourage you to celebrate responsibly. As has been mentioned, fireworks are illegal in the city of Houston, period, to be sold or used. So do not use them in the city of Houston. And enough, I'm sure it's been said about celebratory gunfire. We don't want anyone injured that doesn't have to be. And as citizens of Houston, I know we know how to celebrate. We had a very large celebration for our Astros and went on over a weekend and into the parade. So I know we know how to celebrate safely. Let's do that and bring in the new year right in the city of Houston.
Any comment from Crime Stoppers?
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Kahn, Director of Victim Services for Crime Stoppers of Houston, and I just want to let everybody know that we have an up to a $5,000 reward for any information regarding any suspect and or suspects responsible for what is called celebratory gunfire, which, as the mayor and the chief said, is a violation of the law. The public is our best eyes and ears out there. And if the public wants to help us with this situation, they can contact us anonymously at 713-222-TIPS. They can submit a tip online, www.crime-stoppers.org, or they can use our mobile app available in over 20 languages. And again, you may be eligible for an up to a $5,000 reward for any information leading up to the arrest of anybody participating and firing off a gun in what's commonly called celebratory gunfire. And as someone who's worked with homicide survivors for over 30 years, and I have worked with homicide victims of celebratory gunfire, grief is intensified when justice is lacking. There is no reason for anybody to lose their life by someone needlessly firing a firearm, a gun, a pistol into the air. Because like the mayor said, you fire something up in the air, it's going to land. And we have seen it take its toll on some of our citizens. So again, Crime Stoppers, $5,000 reward, and everybody, we want to wish a happy and safe New Year.
Buenas tardes, Alexa Aragonés con la ciudad de Houston. Nomás le queremos recordarle a todos que es muy importante que no disparen armas al aire, porque todo lo que va para arriba viene otra vez para abajo. es muy riesgoso y es ilegal en la ciudad de Houston. Puede ser multado hasta $4,000 o tener un año en la cárcel o los dos. So, es peligroso y también queremos recordarles que los policías y los bomberos que vienen a responder a esas cosas, se los quitan en otras emergencias en nuestros vecindarios y en nuestras calles. Otros recordatorios son que los fuegos artificiales son ilegal también en la ciudad y a los bares y antros celebren sanamente y con responsabilidad. Por favor, no tomen demasiado. Si van a tomar, no tomen y manejen borrachos. Y si tienen unos tips que le pueden dar a Crime Stoppers, por favor llamen a 713-222-TIPS o crimestoppers.org. Y también queremos dar gracias a todos los bomberos y los policías que trabajan este fin de semana. Por favor, celebren sanamente y con mucho cuidado porque es un tiempo que hay mucha gente en nuestras calles que están tomando y manejando borrachos. So, gracias a todos y gracias a la ciudad.
Okay. Having said that, we'll take any questions that you may have.
Yeah, this was something that the Crime Stoppers Board and our executive CEO, Rania Mankaris, decided that we were going to do a few years ago. So, yeah, it's relatively new for us to do this because normally we don't offer rewards for what's classified as a non-felony. But in this case, we felt it was important on behalf of public safety and crime prevention. So that's why. Yeah, they can, just like in any other offense, if anybody wants to submit a tip, call in a tip, or use a mobile app to let us know, you're given a code, and that's how it works. And if that tip eventually leads up to the arrest, and particularly in this case, you're going to know it because you can check with us a few days later and see if your tip led to the arrest on that. So the law enforcement detail at Crime Stoppers, which is staffed primarily by the Houston Police Department and the Harris County Sheriff's Department, they're well prepared to handle anybody who calls in tips anonymously.
Y nomás, si alguien se da información a Crime Stoppers, puede ganar un dinero hasta $5,000. Si ese tip o esa información da a dar de luz quién hizo algo ilegal y está arrestado. So, otra vez, si alguien llama a Crime Stoppers con información, van a dar un código y cuando alguien está arrestado por su información que dio, puede ganar $5,000, una recompensa. Gracias.
The penalties are fined from $500 to $2,000, and they're illegal within the city proper. Other unincorporated areas, they may be legal, but within the city of Houston, they are totally illegal.
And why?
They're illegal because of the city ordinance as well as our fire code. All of those dangers, yes, exist. Every year, about 9,000 people are injured with fireworks, and I think it's about 9 people that made 3 to 10 deaths, 9,000 injuries annually due to fireworks. That's nationwide.
La pregunta fue que por qué los fuegos artificiales son ilegales aquí en la ciudad de Houston. Nomás es porque son bien peligrosos. El año aquí en Houston, más que 9,000 personas se dañan por estos fuegos artificiales o estos cohetes. Los niños también se dañan y pueden haber fuegos aquí en la ciudad. So, plenamente es un riesgo a nosotros mismos y a los alrededores de nuestros vecindarios.
Yes. Well, that's one of the reasons why we have this press conference every year. We know that for some people it's cultural in terms of either fireworks or celebratory gunfire. But for in the city of Houston, regardless of where you come from, regardless of who you are, ethnicity, your culture, it's dangerous. Okay? So this is the law of the land in the city of Houston. So when you come and you're living in the city, you have to abide by the law of the land. And the reality is when there's celebratory gunfire, people are getting injured. And in some cases may even end up getting killed. And if you're using fireworks, houses are being destroyed, apartment complexes are being burned, people are being injured. And so a decision was made years ago, no to celebratory gunfire, no to fireworks inside the city of Houston for public safety and health reasons. So, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from. This is where you are. And you have to abide by the law of the land, and in this case, in the city of Houston. And quite frankly, I appreciate what Crime Stoppers is doing because it highlights the importance and the emphasis that we are placing on this matter. Now, up to this point in time, on New Year's Eve, when you go out, let's say midnight, shortly before and after, I mean, it's just pop, 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 okay? All over the city, all over the city. But it's dangerous, okay? It is dangerous. And again, what goes up must come down. So we want to let people know that we are very serious. We are not, this is just not saying something just to be saying something. And if you end up getting caught, and last year some people got caught, you can run the risk of 1 year in jail, $4,000 fine, or both. Okay? You don't want to run the risk of being in jail for 1 year, or face a $4,000 fine, or both, because you did something that you should not have done. So we're very serious about it. I know every one of my council members complain about the celebratory gunfire, and we've already gotten calls about one fireworks station that was set up very close to the city of Houston, if not somewhat in. That fireworks stand has been removed, gone, okay? So we're taking things very seriously, and we really need people in the city of Houston to cooperate with us. Enjoy, but do it safely, okay? Any other questions from anyone? Yes, ma'am. Oh, well, then we'll catch you in the new year. I'm going to have to ask you to if you'll get with Attorney Michelle, the city legal attorney. Yeah, he's in a better position to answer that than I am. But that took place during Thanksgiving.
Is there any plans, and where is the city at in the investigation with what's happened with the transformers?
That we are doing a diagnostic. Let me say this one more time. Just as soon as the report is completed, we are going to make it public. I've said that repeatedly. When they finish their diagnostic assessment as to what took place during Thanksgiving, we are going to make it public. Okay? All right. Thank you all so very much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.